Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Sage the Scales, where tarot and intuition combined with politics, law, everything going on in the world with a right big energy. So I'm doing a reading today on the Supreme Court. I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to touch on what I feel is coming. The energy feels stalled. So many of us believed that the argument that a president should get full immunity to be able to do any crime while he's under the label of being the president, it seems insane to all of us, and none of us believed it would take as long as it has taken for a ruling to come back to declare that no one is above the law, and especially a person in power above all other citizens. So we're going to read on that. Another is, I'm curious to know if Aileen Cannon is going to end up stepping on her own foot and handing Jack Smith that piece of substantial legal standing that he can take to have her removed. I'm hoping it's coming soon. I almost don't want to ask if, I want to say when, because I just feel like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And then the last thing I want to discuss is the Alabama Supreme Court ruling that an embryo, once it has been fertilized, once the egg has been fertilized, is now considered a person. I don't even know how to handle that one. That's big. We'll get there. So we have to understand that every ruling that's coming out right now is going to be met with pushback. I will ask for guidance in dreams, in writing. I like script. Sometimes it's very, very exaggerated, big writing. Sometimes it's a sign. Sometimes it's one word. Sometimes it's several. But I hold two hands holding the word hope written on a piece of paper. Just hold the hope. That's what I took from that. Hold that hope. So don't be discouraged if I say something that doesn't sound like it's a 100% swing into the liberal democratic democracy camp. This is fluid, folks. Okay, so my question about the Supreme Court, this is taking a while to come up with this ruling, and we can all pretty much surmise it's because of a few players within the Supreme Court. We're going to assume it's Alito and Thomas. Their energies have always been that of pushing back. They were just pushing back against anything that their money makers want them to push back on. So I feel like they're trying to find a way to get something out of this ruling that doesn't give a president, mind you, Biden's the president. Biden's the president, not Trump. So whatever they rule on, he gets first dibs on. They declare somebody's completely within their rights to shut down half of Washington, arrest their civil servants, go nationwide and, just arrest people or kill people or take things over or sell your state to the Russians for profit. I mean, honestly, this could be anything. It's not going to fly, right? So here's my little Washington monument. Here's my White House. I put my little evil eye on top of it. Keep that good mojo. Good juju on the White House. Okay, so I'm going to read on the Supreme Court. And let's see what we've got. Let's see if we can get the energy from this reading. What the Supreme Court is fighting on, arguing on. It's holding this up. Okay. All right. Here, let me move this down a little bit so y'all can see. Okay. What have we got for the Supreme Court? Ugh. Okay. Yeah, it's like I thought. The card for the reading these guys are beholden to the people who are paying them, the Harlan Crows of the world. They know what side of the bread is buttered here. Okay, so we have the thief card. Now, mind you, this thief, look at his face. He's kind of giggly. He's kind of proud of himself. Look what he's getting away with. He can take everything now. And this is exactly what I was feeling. They're not going to try to push everything. They're not going to try to actually say any person who is president is allowed to have full and absolute immunity, even on things criminal. So they're not going to do that. But they're going to try to come away just short of it. So what's coming is this attempt. It's coming. They think that they've gotten what they want. This is the thing that's going to make sure that the money keeps coming at them. You know, this is a seed. These grounds have not been planted. There's something here that can take root later. And I think this is them holding that space, making sure that whatever decision they make is first and foremost something that the oligarchs or the Harlan Crows of the world want them to do. And I say oligarchs because wouldn't that be something if you found out they were getting Russia money? Wouldn't it? I wouldn't be surprised. This is my Trump card. This is my Lincoln Park. Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. So it's walking away from something. They see he's leaving. They know he's not going to get in. I think that they even realize that, see, if it's not him, who would it be? It could be Biden. It could be someone else. So however they rule, they have to make sure that they're acknowledging that it's going to be somebody other than Trump one day. The man's not 20 or 35, I should say. He's not going to be there forever. And then what? These are his supporters. These are his supporters, and they feel tied to this. I always find these two cards together being very telling, because here you could have that positive. You know, you can make agreements with people. You can have bonds with people. You can have relationships with people, and they can be healthy, and they can be beneficial. But over here, you're tied to them. These chains can come off. They could take those chains off. They could walk away from this. They could have a more joyous life, but they're choosing this. They're choosing to remain. So maybe they started like this, and now they're here. But in the end, the Supreme Court is going to try really hard to try to make sure that they're going to give something that Trump can use. I don't know what that something is. But there's something that they're going to try to give him. I don't like that. And who knows if it's even going to come to fruition, because it's fluid energy right now. These people have not made a decision. They're still arguing. They're still trying to keep their money flow, their cash flow coming in, keep their alliances on the side. I mean, this is why we can't have money involved in the Supreme Court. You just can't. We got moments like this. So crazy. Okay. Remember, hold on to the hope. Remember that message? Hold on to hope. Hold on. My next question is about Aileen Cannon. What the heck is she doing? Why is she even there? So here's the question. Will Aileen Cannon step on her own foot and give Jack Smith that substantial piece that he can then take to have her removed? Is she doing it? Because right now it's on her. It's on her. She's smart enough to know not to put things in, to make sure that orders are in paperless orders. So he can't utilize it. Something's got to give though, right? Okay. Aileen Cannon, you got to step on your own foot. She's going to step on her own foot. She's gonna. All right. Let's look. Let's see what we've got. Oh, and if you hear squawking outside, I have geese. They're very noisy. Gustav, our gander, is he's feeling his own right now in the springtime. This is Trump the citizen, not the president. She's trying. She sees him. He's trying to rule. She's being very defensive for him. She's protecting him. She's getting beaten up, though. His loud, bombastic, look at me, I'm going to say whatever I want and do whatever I want. And I'm so smart. I'm going to get in there. Oh, maybe this isn't Trump. Maybe this is Aileen Cannon. Because she acts like a child, right? She's not a child, but she's ruling the bench as though she's inexperienced. This inexperience is front and center. I think this is the piece. This is the piece Jack Smith needs. Because next, we have my Biden card, which could be Jack Smith, the DOJ, right? And it's followed by moving into to calmer waters. But this is a card of legal action. These legal swords. Maybe it's jail. But right now in this reading, I think we're just going to say Jack Smith is going to be able to utilize this to move this forward in a smoother way and into calmer waters. I think she's doing it. And I think she's going to make us all very happy and give Jack Smith some stuff to work with. Gee, can't wait for that. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the Alabama Supreme Court ruling. Now, most of us are women. I'm going to have men on this channel. I know I am, and I'm going to love them all. But you men, you love women. You are families with these women. Every family has their story. Women, what did I see? 1 in 5 women are going to have a miscarriage. They're going to have some kind of issue with carrying a child. It could be the rupture of a fallopian tube during an ectopic pregnancy, leaving you with 50% chance of having a child because one of your fallopian tubes has been destroyed. People are trying to have babies but miscarry. My brother had to go through in vitro twice. On the second time, he had Petri dish A and Petri dish B took. Fantastic niece and nephew. But how blessed were they to have the insurance that covered it? So now you have these poor people down in South Carolina who, when faced with this, the IVF companies, doctors' offices are unable to legally, well, here's the deal. If you implant, say, 4 embryos, okay, with the shot of maybe 1 taking, those 3 other embryos fail, is that murder? Are the doctors, the nurses, the parents all going to be prosecuted? Because if that embryo, once the sperm and the egg connect, that's a person. Are we going to get tax write-offs? Are they a dependent? If you're going to have to keep them in a freezer indefinitely for the rest of your life, and you pass them down to your children, they're going to be willed to the children. What if you don't end up having children? Who's responsible for that person? And then at some point, I was like pushing the envelope a little bit here in a couple of different ways. One was, if they passed, do you have to have a funeral? Do you have to document it as a death certificate? That's a person, right? There's no birth, but there's a death. How does this work? Do you have to have a funeral? Do you have to pay taxes on this child? Can people go in and sue you for child abuse because your children are in a freezer? We have questions. But I do know that people are nervous. They're upset. what gets to me is the fact that the people who are getting in vitro are not poor people. You're either lucky enough to have really good insurance or you've got cash. So however this is playing out, they're not helping, they're not and this whole we need more children, we're pro-birth, well then you have just tanked that. People are now not going to have children who could have been having children. So many bad feelings about this. It just all feels awful because everybody's so afraid. Is this going to be overturned? That's what I want to know. Is the Alabama Supreme Court decision that embryos are people going to be overturned? There's just so many things that could go wrong with this. Already things that are going wrong with this. Let's look. Okay. Alabama Supreme Court is going to be overturned. Okay. I don't know if anyone who's not feeling this, they have their love on hold. Some might think that there's an embryo in that, but I don't. That's not how I'm going to interpret it. I'm going to interpret so many people who want to go down the avenue of IVF or may have to in the future. They're holding on to it. Hold off and wait. That could land you in jail. Yeah. People are stopping and thinking about this. They're really going to contemplate what it is that this law is demanding of people and how it's going to change women's reproductive health care. And those people who pay them, people with money, can donate to campaigns in a bigger way, right? You got to think about how this is affecting your constituency. Page of Cups. Yeah. There's a little embryo in here. Well, surprise, surprise. It's not a fish, it's a person. Congratulations. How do you deal with the aquarium? Five of Wands. They can't make this work together. Some people see this as people going at each other and like attacking each other. I don't see that. I see that as the Four of Wands created almost like the table legs for something sturdy. This is one too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's not coming together because it's just too chaotic. And maybe that's how they're going to see this ruling. It's just too crazy. They're just too, like I said before, I even read, too many things to look at, too many things. This is what we have. We have people looking at this saying this isn't going to fly. People are going to take this internally and twist it. It's now, if you go to the doctor and find out you're pregnant, you could be arrested if you miscarry. You have to go through a trial to determine if you've done something to cause the miscarriage. They're looking at this. This is way bigger than they realized. Actually, it is exactly what they realized. It's what they wanted. But people are going to be looking at that. Wise people will be looking at that. And of course, we get the Empress. Motherhood. The love, the nurturing, the kindness. It's all these people want. It's all they want. And now they have to think twice. They could end up landing in jail for deciding to do this. Can you imagine? You implant 3 eggs, two die. You end up with 2 consecutive life sentences for murder. What on earth? What on earth has happened with that ruling? All right. But remember, hold the hope. Hold that hope. Can't forget that part. There's going to be some balance. This seems so very offset. Very offset. Okay. So another thing I was going to read on was, will this be used against women who have a miscarriage? We're going to start seeing people families, married couples, unmarried couples. And I hate saying married couples because there's so many couples out there. I should just say couples. You see couples who want desperately to go to the baby doctor and say, yes, you're pregnant. But now they're like, don't. We have to wait. We'll buy prenatal vitamins at the CVS or the Walgreens. We're going to wait as long as we can before we find out, just in case. Because if you miscarry, God only knows what's going to happen, right? So are other states going to use this ruling to prosecute women? Oh God, I just got tingles. Are other states going to use the Supreme Court Alabama embryo ruling to prosecute women in other states for miscarriage? Oh, that's not good. I got all the tingles. I got all of them. They're gonna do all the work they can to make sure it's as hard as possible. You have a miscarriage and you still got to keep going, you're gonna get attacked. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying this is the energy. This is the energy I'm feeling. The insult to injury. You've already had a miscarriage. Now they're gonna do this to you. They're gonna rip your family apart, investigating you. They're going to accuse you of doing something nefarious. Something nefarious. And they're going to feel like there's a victory. And, you know, they'll probably start off trying, because isn't that how it works? You have a few cases, and then when those cases go to court, then they can be overturned. It always takes somebody having legal action come against them before there's change. Because I have that sort of truth, and I have the U.S. government. I have our government agencies. I've got Joe Biden. It's here. Legal actions, it's going to happen. I want to read on Joe Biden's going to win the presidency, because I feel like first we'll read on that. We'll read on if he is going to win the 2024 presidential election. And then I'm going to read on codifying. Reversing Dobbs. My God, Dobbs was awful. What do we got? Okay. All right, well, he's coming on in. Now, there's going to be... I have the moon, which is lunacy and craziness, but seeing what they're doing, and they're all on the defensive. Okay, so if you've got the hard work and they're getting it done, it's going to come through. He's going to pull it to the finish line. Let me see what I get for Biden. Okay, that's sometimes I read out a story. I almost get like how it's been, how it is going now, and where we're going later. I'm trying to not get into a whole ton of cards, but I get guidance and a whole dang story, a whole sidetrack. It's like following a squirrel through the backyard. Biden 2024. What do we got? Okay. Well, we have this balance. It's going to be balanced, folks. We're going to find our balance. Looking out into... He already did this. He's already had one administration. He's going to have another. He has the world he has to look out for, right? And the world is backing him. We have our victory. He's just got to wait for the ships to come in. And there are legal things. There are legal things that are coming from this. I wonder if that assists him in the victory. I wonder what it is. that's coming that we're going to see. I love this card, the Queen of Swords. Do you see the straps on her wrists? She cut herself free. The women of our country. Maybe this victory comes off our women. Maybe that's it. Us women are not putting up with this anymore. We're seeing too many really big issues in this country that need to be dealt with so that our daughters, so our granddaughters don't have to worry about these things. That's my little girl, my little granddaughter. So remember, there's a balance between lightness and darkness, and somewhere in that middle, we're able to sway that energy. So when there's a crime, there can be punishment. And so when there's harm, there can be repair. And when there's full control, there can also be liberty. So hold that hope. Let's follow this energy, and let's keep our eyes and ears open. Let's be smart about our politics and smart about our information. And I will see you all on the next episode. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.